Yes, we're
Hmm.
aging gracefully. We're aging
Yes.
gracefully. And I was
Yes.
going to, speaking about aging gracefully and then building muscles to support for our support and prevention of osteoporosis, because I know you focus a lot about that too, because you do multiple things here. Can you
Hmm.
explain the importance of muscle strength for maintaining independence and preventing osteoporosis as we age?
So your muscle is your muscle of longevity. So I've said 1,000 times, and I believe this to my core, you must lift weights. So I'm going to talk, I'm going to do an episode on invisible health because I think it's really important that we are just cells. We are just cells. That's all we are. And we tend to focus on outward appearance of what we see, right? But so many things are happening inside of us, like the health of our heart, the health of our gut, the health of our bones. What do our muscles look like? So when you can start to see, so this was one of my shifts I made again in my early 30s, when you can start to see yourself as a cellular being, and how can I support my bone health? How can I support my heart health? How can I support my microbiome? And all these invisible things that are happening. So as we age, unfortunately, we lose muscle mass. Like that's a fact. As we lose muscle mass, we also are losing bone, but we don't see it. Okay, so we don't really even pay attention to it. But I want you to get excited about building strong bones. So what can you do to build strong bones? Well, you can obviously eat, a diet that supports, and you can go look that up or we can talk about that later. But lifting weights to me is just on so many levels so important because it puts oh my gosh, what's the word? An overload on your bones, which helps to keep them strong. Okay. Your muscles and bones and all these things works as levers. So when you're moving those muscles, you're helping to, communicate to the bones. How our body works, like they are discovering more and more and more all the time about how our cells communicate, how the fascia works, how our electrical system works, all of this kind of stuff. All I know is at the end of the day, if you lift weights, you are helping to strengthen your bones. We don't need any studies. You don't, that is a fact, right? If you put weight, if you put an overload on your bones, you are helping to maintain your bones and your muscle strength. So what happens a lot of the time is women will focus on the scale and their weight won't change, but their body composition is changing. They're actually getting fatter and losing muscle mass. Is called sarcopenia. But they don't see this because the scale hasn't changed, but their clothes might be getting tighter, right? And so muscle is more dense. And so the more muscle you have, the more it's like a sugar soaker. It's soaking in the sugar. It's helping you to feel better in your clothes. So I cannot emphasize the importance of start with 2 pounds, go to 5, then 8. I mean, I have 70-year-olds in my academy now lifting 15 pounds. They started lifting 3 and
Wow.
they feel so much better, like mentally, physically, and just knowing that they're helping their bones. So what I say to people is I'm not here to say, like, if you have your bones deteriorating, my goal is to not let them get worse. I'm not going to bring them back to what they were when they were 20, but my goal is for you not to get paper thin bones. You do not want osteopenia, which leads into osteoporosis. It's very deadly. It's not talked about enough. So one of the things you can do is start lifting weights. And I have a beginner start here weight program in my Vibrant Living Academy. I've been personal training for over 30 years. It is not going to make you look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's just no downside to learning how to lift weights, do it properly, and start with 5 minutes a day. It's all you need, and then build from there. So I hope that answers your question.
Oh, definitely. And some, because I was going to ask about like the misconceptions about the bulkiness, because a lot of women are like, ah. I lift weights, I'm gonna get too bulky.
No, we don't have enough testosterone. Now, listen,
Right.
there's the odd woman that maybe, but the majority of people, like I don't, none of my friends, like it is not going to happen. I'll just tell you that right now. You may, when you first start building, you may have a very short period of time where that muscle is growing and you haven't lost some of the fat on top, but that'll change. Your body composition will end up changing. Nothing happens overnight. Nothing.
Right.
So you just have to start taking the steps in the direction to where you want to go. And so a lot of why I focus on vibrant health as opposed to weight loss, even though I know weight loss is so big for many women, is I want you in your 50s and 60s and 70s to be vibrant, to be energetic, to be able to do all the things you want to do. One of the biggest things I hear women say is, I just want to play on the floor with my grandkids. I can't get down to the floor. I can't get up from the floor. And I'm like, that's a problem. You know, they're not saying I want to run a marathon. This is functional living. And that's really what I focus on, like functional living. How can you go up and down the stairs and in and out of your car and play with your grandkids and travel and just enjoy life to its fullest, right? And it's just these simple little things you decide to do every day. So, you know, for example, I'll say to a client, before you sit and watch television, go get a weight, if this is where you have to start, and just do 10 bicep curls. And that starts the process. But we have to believe in these simple shifts.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Especially because I suffer actually lower back pain. And whenever I'm feeling like, oh, it's starting to hurt a little bit more, what do?